This is a 1976 Ibanez Les Paul. I'm really lucky to have this thing. This is one of my favorite guitars I've ever had, and I would never sell this thing. Not even for a Gibson. I would love to hear what this thing would sound like with Gibson pickups. Right now I got a GFS pickup in there. I have a DiMarzio laying around. I might swap it out and see what that's like. I've had this one in here for over a decade. So right now I'm unscrewing by hand this little thing. You see, I got one of these. Just pull that off. So I'm gonna push this input jack in, and there we go. Come on, get that. All right. And as you can see from this side, I don't know if you can actually see it, but this was just dangling there. I had tied it on earlier, and so I'm gonna have to strip a little more of this cable, and I'm gonna have to solder it onto here. So let's go grab the soldering iron, shall we? Do I have solder in here? Yes, I do. All right, now you're supposed to do this outside, but this is a semi-industrial kind of place, so I don't mind doing it in here. It's not going to be that much. I'm going to run a fan afterwards. Okay, so what is soldering? All right, so you get some metal, use this thing, it gets really hot, and it melts the metal, and you use it to fuse metal to metal. All right, not a big deal. I really shouldn't be using this vintage guitar as a table, but here's a towel. As you can see, life is a mess, all right? So I got this bottle of water, and I'm just going to spill some of it onto this towel here, because we're going to need that to clean the soldering iron. So here I go with this thing. I'm going to unwrap this, and I'm going to plug it into an outlet. Boom. So in about 2 minutes, this side's going to get really, really hot. I got to make sure that's in all the way. Okay, good. So now onto the wire stripping. I'm going to pull this down a little bit more. Now, I'm not a pro at this. I just kind of know how to do it myself, and I'm only working on my own instruments. I would definitely not do this for hire unless if you're really broke. I can recommend a really good guy for this kind of stuff if you can afford to get it done correctly. If you care enough about your instrument and your music to have it done correctly, I know just the right guy to do it. So hit me up, because I know how to do this myself, and I still prefer to get this guy to work on stuff if if it's serious. I'm not saying this isn't serious, but I'm going through a rough time. I don't have any money. This guy likes me. I bet he would still probably do it anyway and let me owe him, but now's not a good time. Every single one of my instruments needs some kind of work, so, there's definitely more to do. So, I think that one's positive and that one's negative. That's always a hard part, trying to remember which one is which. But now, kind of like I did the other day, I'm just going to kind of put these through the holes. I don't know if you can see it. This is the hard part. It's you have to see really small and precisely to get this happening. I have really good eyesight, better than 20/20. I've never needed glasses. But my nerve system, something's wrong. I have like Parkinson's or something, because I shake a lot. I don't know if you can see my fingers shaking, but when I get to really small, precise movements like this, I just have these tremors that don't go away. And that makes it really hard to do soldering, and that's why I don't do this for a living, because... Alright, so now that's tied in, and that end is in, and I'm going to cover that up with some electrical tape afterwards. So over here, I don't know if you can see this, but I'm tying this around the thing like I did the other day, but today I'm going to use solder to make this a more permanent connection and make it more reliable so that this guitar can be suitable for professional use once again. Yeah, see, if you could tie stuff around, then it's great. Then I can actually do it, because if you're trying to hold stuff, you need 3 hands sometimes, because you need one hand for this thing, one hand to hold the wire to the other wire, then you need another hand to bring the solder into the equation. So I've seen people use alligator clips, and I've seen people use clamps and stuff, and yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to... The hell does this thing begin? All right, here we go. Is this hot yet? I'm going to touch the wet part. Yeah, you can hear a little sizzle, seeing a little bit of steam. You got to have like some kind of wet thing happening so you can clean it off. You don't want it to touch the fabric too long. That looks okay. Alright, now we just put some solder on the thing to kind of clean it off even more and see if it melts. Yeah, as you can you see my hand shaking when I'm can you look at the tip trying to see my hand shake? I'm not really proud of that. Well, it looks like it's not melting yet, so this might need another minute to warm up. Oh, no, there we go. It's melting. So that's happening, and there's like chemicals in this that kind of sort of clean it, and so I just do that. See if it doesn't melt right away, that means the thing's not clean enough. You should really put a ton of it on there. I really need a new tip. I don't know if I've ever gotten a new tip for this one. This might even be a yard sale find, this soldering iron. Okay, well that's good. Now I'm going to go over to here. This is the hard part. I don't know if you can see this, but I'm touching this metal to this other metal. And I got to get that to, it looks like there's already enough solder on it. So I'm just going to hold that up to that, and that's already done. That's already connected now. If I really want to see the metal melt into the other metal and really become one here, because you don't want to just melt the metal on top of the other metal, because that's not really going to, yeah, oh, there we go. Becomes liquid for a second, then you pull away, and then it solidifies, and I think that's good to go. Yes, yes. And you don't want to hold the soldering iron for too long, because the metal that you're touching is going to get really hot and start melting the plastics that it's connected to, and then you're going to fuck up your component. You're going to have to go buy a new one. So you don't want to allow that to happen. Sorry about my language, but you know, if you're under the age of 13, why would you be interested in watching this anyway? Um, shit, I know. Man, when I was like 10 years old, I would curse like a sailor. So, about the elderly, you don't want to. I watch my language around the elderly because they care more about profanity than the. All right, so here we go. This I don't. I need a clamp or something. I don't know how I'm gonna hold this down, but so I got one hand holding that, and as that gets hot, now I have this other finger pressing in the solder. I can smell something burning. There we go. But it's not connecting to the. Right now, the solder is getting all over the wire, but it's not getting all over the base, the thing I'm trying to connect it to. I'm heating that right up right now. I'm afraid to have this on for too long because I don't want to melt the plastic around it. And see, now it's all over the wire, but it's not getting on the. You know, you really got to heat both things that you're putting it on. That looks all right. Now I just have molten metal, and I'm just kind of painting with it, moving it around with this thing. But you really got to. I can't stress this enough. I mean, both things have to get hot for the solder to really actually lock in and become one with the other metal. Alright, I think that's it. That should be good. Alright, now I'm going to wipe this off over here. And now I'm going to unplug the gun. This I'm going to throw it on the concrete over there. Because concrete doesn't burn or melt, so it's a stone is great for a lot of heat. Cleaning this up. So, is this hot enough? Is this cool enough to touch? Yeah, you see, like, this isn't really a professional connection. It's gonna work, and it should be tight. I mean, I got high standards for what should be considered professional. If somebody did this for me, I wouldn't want to pay them. This is, like, pretty shitty, but, you know, but like I said, it's just for my personal use. Right now I'm chopping away some, extra ends. And this really doesn't look right, but it's probably going to sound okay. It's definitely fused. The metal, the connection's definitely there. It's just not as like, it's not military grade, you know. I'm gonna get some electrical tape and I'm gonna cover this up because the way it looks right now, it looks like when you stick a cord in there. It looks like when you stick this cord in to the input jack. Well, it looks fine, but it's dangerously close to touching the connection. So I'm gonna cover that up with some electrical tape. So my goal here is to just try to, I'm gonna cut this in half a little bit. I'm just trying to use the tape as a shield, really, so that we don't have the wrong metal touching the wrong metal and causing a short and buzz problems. And I also read that you're supposed to shield this stuff to prevent it from picking up electromagnetic distortion, radiation, radio frequencies. You're supposed to like cover it with rubber and then cover it with like tin foil and cover it back up with rubber or something. I don't know. Whatever. Okay, so there's some. Now I gotta get the other side. Covering that up. Okay, good. And I have another piece of tape here, so I'm gonna cover up the part where I made the connection a little more. Oh, this is so crappy. This is definitely a homemade job. So while I'm in here, I'm looking in here and just verifying all the other connections are tight. Okay. Now I get to push this all the way back through the hole. Get over there. Oh, come on. That's right. Come on, just get through that hole right there. I'm trying not to press too much on the other side because then I'm just going to bend my connections that I just made. Now, obviously, the right way to do this would be to unscrew these screws and take off this plate and do it the right way and put it back in. But, you know, I'm trying to do this quick, cheap. There we go. Where did I put, okay, now I'm missing a piece. Oh, I see the piece. It's in there. How am I going to fish that out? Well, I think I'm still going to take this washer. That could be useful. Alright, cool. Well, at least I got a washer out of it. That's not going back on the pedal. I'm going to put this on by hand first. Alright. And then I just got to tighten it up. I got some needle nose pliers. It'll do. It's not really what you're supposed to use, but hey. So I have my finger on the other side because I want to make sure the other side doesn't spin. Just going to clench this really tight. Hopefully that doesn't move for years. Alright, let's plug this in, shall we? Make sure it works. It's really dangerous having the exposed electronics. You have stuff on your back. Alright, so seems legit, right? Thank you for watching.